Good morning, everyone. Kate Boer and Fiona Pearman joining you this week for our Facebook Live, where we continue to talk about the importance of knowing your stuff, subject matter expertise, to our sources of confidence. And today we want to talk about, it's not just what you know, it's what you know and what you do with it, which is where the power and the value really is.
Yes, knowledge is one thing. Qualifications are fantastic. We're big fans of learning and knowing things. However, the knowledge in itself won't actually change anything. It's when we start applying that knowledge, it's when we do something and when we contribute in a way that's meaningful for ourselves and for others around us. I think, Kate, the willingness to speak up and take action and to actually allow other people to share, what we know with them, for them to experience some of our knowledge in a way that's meaningful for them. It really opens up a dialogue in a quite different way than when we just assume our knowledge is going to be enough in and of itself.
Yeah, I think often, it sits as theory. So, I know what I need to do in that dynamic. And we see this all the time. If we've ever been in a situation where we're teaching things like courageous conversations, the goal of that conversation is not the theory and understanding the frameworks. The goal is when we apply the framework and we get feedback around what worked, what didn't work in terms of the context or the actual framework, but also what's gone on for me personally in that experience, because it's only in the application that we learn what works for us, what doesn't work for us, but also what's going on for us that potentially is making it difficult for us, what's stopping us from doing things, what's going on for us in terms of perhaps, fears that are coming up. And so I think this piece, so many people will often default to acquire more knowledge, which is acquire typically more skill, capability, and experience, often more skill and knowledge in order to build confidence, right, as a source of confidence. And in and of itself, that's not going to get us anywhere, right? It's only when we take that knowledge and we go and apply it. And I often say this around CVs. It's not the MBA that is going to get you the job. It's what you've done with what you've learned in the MBA back in the workplace that's translated to an achievement on your CV. It's the achievements, it's the applied learning, it's the applied knowledge that will increase your professional currency as an executive and position you well for a new opportunity. And it's because it's the certainty of translating knowledge into value. What problems do you solve? What value do you contribute? And it's the demonstrated learning of being able to apply that in an environment where there are uncertainties and variabilities that potentially, have made it difficult. And we've had to demonstrate that ability to adapt.
Yes, I think what's going on here often is we know in ourselves, like we've got the knowledge, we know we could do something, and yet we hold ourselves back. And that little piece there, that risk of what might go wrong, that I might misstep, that someone might misunderstand or misinterpret, that someone might actually know more than me and I might be pointed out to not be right, to not have all the knowledge that I would like to have in that dynamic and in that meeting. And so those risks start building up in our mind, often exaggerated and much bigger than they actually are. And that can mean that we contract and we don't take the action that demonstrates our knowledge. And then that is holding us back even more, because the greater risk here is by not applying the knowledge, by not taking that risk of potentially small percentage, things might go wrong or things may not land perfectly, that people won't know how, the real value we bring, the real knowledge that we have, the way in which when that knowledge is applied, solutions can be arrived at, that new insights can be contributed and can actually alter the course of the decisions and projects and what's going on. So the willingness to take the risk is actually the most powerful thing we can do in order that our knowledge is used and is shared in a way that's meaningful.
Yeah, and I think, we really reference back to one of the key philosophies of our work, which is small acts of confidence. This often manifests in speaking up in meetings, either challenging a perspective, sharing a perspective that is new and different, isn't well accepted. It translates often in the work environment, in voice, in giving voice to an idea, a perspective, or a truth that you have. And so to Fiona's point there, the risk of speaking up around looking stupid, getting it wrong, it's not my place, often can feel higher, and the danger or the consequences of that can feel higher than the benefits to yourself, to the organization, to the conversation, of the contribution, of the value of asking that question or speaking up. So in that dynamic where we're weighing that up, often it can feel safer just to stay quiet, right? But the importance here of taking learning into value. What problems do you solve? What contribution can you make to your organization? We have to take what we know. We have to either give voice to that. We have to take action on that. We have to make a decision on that. That translates into outcomes, and outcomes just give us information. And with more information, we can make new and even better informed decisions. So there's always going to be a risk when it comes to translating our knowledge into action and into outcomes. And it's really how you navigate those risks, which is where our work certainly kicks in.
Absolutely. This willingness to give something a go, to try it, to see what happens, to learn, experiment, and do something differently next time. That's where we actually build our confidence. That's where we actually are resourced. Confidence is the X factor here. There's no doubt, Kate, we've seen this time and time again, whether we're working with students or people mid-career, wherever people are at, the more they are willing to risk that little bit, to actually share their knowledge, to do something, to ask that great question, the more they take those risks, the more fueled they are by, oh, actually, that wasn't so bad. I could do that again, or I could do it in this way. And so the learning here is not so much that I know all these great things, it's that I'm willing to share and do something with my knowledge that really gives people the inner confidence to keep going and actually expand and do more.
All right, we're going to leave it there. If you've enjoyed today's confidence conversation, please share it with a friend or someone within your network. And of course, if you'd like to find out more or dig into some of our other great videos, head over to our Facebook page. Lots of great videos for you to dig in there as well. And of course, if you'd like to go deeper with your relationship with core confidence, please visit our website, coreconfidence.com.au.